I took on big oil companies and won.
We've taken on the big oil companies who are polluting. I took on oil companies who are polluting our environments.
All right, obviously that is extremely different than what she is presenting right now. But this isn't the only thing that she's flipped on that you found, and you found a lot of other inconsistencies.
Oh man, this K-File guy just took it to Kamala Harris yet again, and CNN just aired one of the most brutal fact checks or receipt giving or whatever you want to call it style segments of Kamala in the entire 2024 cycle, which is certainly saying a lot because CNN has done this more than a few times where they decide to actually be honest, right? They decide to just genuinely look into Kamala Harris's very past public record. But with that said, this question of Kamala Harris's past life on energy and fossil fuels, right? The climate change related issues is once again coming back into the discussion. You'll remember early on into her candidacy, her past comments on fracking were of big concern, and she tried to walk it back and basically argued that she never said that to begin with. But now K-File is bringing the receipts not just on her past record in terms of natural gas, which is fracking, but also the big oil companies, which she once said she wanted to criminally prosecute, and is now bragging that the Biden administration has the highest levels of energy production ever. So what's going on here with the flip-flopping? You're about to find out. But first, folks, do us a big favor. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And why should you subscribe? Because that way we can keep bringing you videos like this. All you got to do, hit that red button, and your doing so goes a long way in supporting these videos and ensuring we can keep doing them. And with that said, take a listen. Here's K-File's recent expose yet again on Kamala Harris.
Aaron, and this really shows sort of just how far left that Kamala Harris got in that 2019 Democratic primary when she was running with Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. She was making this extremely bold promise that she was going to take the U.S. oil industry, possibly criminally prosecute them for their role in climate change. She compared it to big tobacco, saying they knew the effects of climate change, but they hid it from the public. Now we saw there, fast forward to 2024, what are her and Tim Walz doing? They are touting the record domestic oil production from those same oil companies during the Biden-Harris administration. And, well, how big of a shift is this? Well, take a listen to just one of those comments from 2019.
I mean, that's as big of a shift as you can make, you know? This is far from her just saying the standard Democrat talking point of, oh, we need to cut back on fossil fuel production. You know, we need to go green and care about climate change. No, she took the most radical stance possible. She said we should criminally prosecute the oil companies for contributing to climate change. How do you go from that in 2019 to now bragging about your oil production? Well, the answer is you're a complete chameleon, but you wonder why, no matter what she does, a significant portion of the country just still finds her not to be trustworthy. Well, this is why. Because nobody knows at this point what Kamala really stands for, honestly.
Will you order your Justice Department and your Attorney General to investigate Chevron and Shell companies for their part in and their damage to our planet in this climate crisis?
I'm saying about these big oil companies and these fossil fuel companies, look, you should be really prepared to look at a serious fine or be charged with a crime. And they need to pay the price. So yes is the answer.
And that's very different from obviously what we played in the intro here, but that was not the only time she made comments like this. This was very much a theme for her. Take a listen to a few other comments that she made in 2019.
I took on big oil companies and won.
We've taken on the big oil companies who are polluting. I took on oil companies who are polluting our environments.
All right, obviously that is extremely different than what she is presenting right now. But this isn't the only thing that she's flipped on that you found, and you found a lot of other inconsistencies.
Yeah, she's flip-flopped on a lot of issues related to energy. Take a look at just a few of them. She said she was going to ban plastic straws. She said she was going to ban.
I'm surprised the Trump campaign has not used this one yet. I don't even remember that, but now that I'm thinking, it makes perfect sense. She was even one of those characters, right? So all this energy stuff, like banning the oil, banning fracking, etc., natural gas, you know, that obviously has catastrophic effects for standard of living in this country. It's bad. It's evil, frankly, what you would do to the American people by implementing these types of regulations. But on top of that, you just have to go that far. You just have to be so unlikable and just be such a pain in the rear end for everyone. On top of that, Kamala is against the plastic straws. It's hilarious. It's almost memeable, okay? And this is the person now saying, we actually produce more energy than Donald Trump. Okay.
Fracking, we have heard a lot about that. And she said she would eliminate the filibuster to pass the Green New Deal. Now, she also ran Facebook ads during that campaign, which were touting her support for the Green New Deal, which were saying that she was going to take on big oil to stop for their role in contributing to climate change. And
I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know how you justify or defend it, especially in your first ever TV interview. You said that your values have not changed, but let's take a listen. Because Tim Walz recently was confronted with a question very similar to this. What's with the flip-flopping on energy policy? And let's see what the self-described knucklehead vice president has to say. All right.
Fracking, a very important industry, natural gas here in Pennsylvania. 4 years ago, candidate Harris was going to ban fracking. She has now changed her position. Do you think the voters are going to buy that she has changed her mind in 4 years? And how important is this industry to Pennsylvania and America?
Yeah, well, 4 years ago she said it, and 4 weeks ago she said it, and it is important. I think what people are going to recognize is America's producing more natural gas and more oil than at any time in our history, but we're also producing more clean energy jobs that gives Pennsylvania a bridge to the future. Look, that's simply the fact on this. Donald Trump wants to make somewhat of an issue. The vice president's been very clear.
Okay, so as you can see, once again, just reverting back to the old talking point about how we're producing more oil than ever before. She's been very clear. You're right. She has been very clear, because the last time she actually ran as a presidential candidate, CNN showed you and told you what she was saying about this issue of oil, natural gas, and energy production. But I guess, according to Kamala Harris, that's all misinformation, right? It's misinformation when you bring up her past statements that she said a few years ago and say she said this thing a few years ago. Apparently, that's all just not true. It's right-wing propaganda and lies, which we all know CNN is certainly known for, right?
One of the biggest challenges that I face is mis and disinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's purposeful because it is meant to convince people that they somehow should not believe that the work that I have done has occurred and has meaning.
Yeah, it's all just lies. You know, it's all just not true. It never happened. The things that Kamala Harris was on camera saying at public events, surely, you know, it's all just misinformation. No, Kamala, we do know your record. We do know the things you've done in the past. And that's why people are pissed off at you. Okay? It's not because people are making things up about you. It's not because they're lying. Honestly, the biggest criticism of you in the entire 2024 election cycle has not been this so-called misinformation or whatever that means, right? Misinformation just means something bad for the Democrats, but that has not been the chief criticism. Actually, the biggest thing that Trump and everyone has used to attack you is your own words, your own past record right there. Okay, but again, I guess it's all just not true, apparently.
The fact check bottom line, Abby, is that she did not actually make clear at a 2020 debate that she had changed her previous support for a fracking ban. So let me take you through this kind of saga. So here's what she said at a CNN climate town hall in 2019 on the subject of a fracking ban.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah.
That was quite clear. So she ended her 2020 presidential run in December 2019. The only debate she participated in 2020 was the general election debate with then Vice President Mike Pence. And I went over the transcript of that debate tonight. Nowhere in there does she make clear that she had abandoned her previous support for a fracking ban. Rather, she repeated that Joe Biden, the head of the Democratic ticket at the time, would himself not ban fracking. So listen to what she actually said in that 2020 debate.
Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking.
So it makes perfect sense that at the time she was speaking on behalf of Biden, the president, not the vice president, sets administration policy. But maybe other people feel differently. I certainly did not hear anywhere in there Kamala Harris saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 view. Rather, again, she was speaking for Joe Biden.
Right, but again, I guess it's all just misinformation. Well, let me say that if you work in the energy sector, Pennsylvanians, I'm talking to you, or heck, you use energy, which is like everyone in modern civilization. If you drive a car, if you burn electricity, like literally if you do anything, you should take Kamala's past record on energy policy very seriously. Her flip-flop is obviously disingenuous, and for that alone, just yet another reason not to vote for her. Props to CNN for once, actually kind of calling that out. So good for you. Good for you, honestly. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know all your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.